Welcome back, everyone, as we continue our playthrough as the German Empire on Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It is September of 1927. If you haven't seen the entire campaign to this point, there's a link in the description that will take you all the way back to Episode 1. We are now blockading Austria-Hungary. We've got such an advantage in tonnage and power projection. Actually, we're down in tonnage a little bit, but our power projection is such that we are economically blockading the Austro-Hungarians. And we're starting to move some of our big warships out here. This is nice. We're just taking on transports. We'll just auto-resolve that. We only sank 2 of them, which is kind of crazy. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we've got 4 of our big ships plus 1 destroyer. What's happening is I'm starting to produce a lot of destroyers, but the destroyers get sucked into all these battles. Every month there's like a dozen or so battles that can be fought. And so a lot of my destroyers are getting like pulled into these fights while the capital ships stay in port. And so it ends up that my capital ships end up in these battles, but a lot of my destroyers are caught elsewhere, so I'm not able to take advantage of that. But that said, we ought to be able to wipe out this Italian fleet pretty good with 2 big battleships, a slightly smaller battleship, and a battle cruiser, but overall the tonnage is just ridiculous. So we're going to have some fun with this one. Well, for some reason, my 1 destroyer that's here is only 12% structurally, so we're not even going to be able to use them. We're just going to let them stay out, and we're going to go at this with these 4 heavy ships. The weather's nasty. We got to zoom all the way down to even really be able to see things. But oh, I love this Heimdall so much. This particular class of battleship, just beautiful with the number of 14-inch guns and 8-inch guns that we have on it. We ought to be able to light up some of these ships pretty quickly. But first, we've got to find the enemy. There we go, we found them. So, I don't know why we're all separate here. Let's get everybody merged back together. Make sure that we have our torpedo avoidance on for when the time comes. In this case, I really wish we didn't have the bad weather because we've got these big ships. And the last thing that I want to let him do is get close to me, because that reduces my advantage with the guns. Because he can get in with torpedoes. Oh, look at that nasty, nasty lightning and everything going on here. I'm going to turn a little more so we can get our guns on them. We already lit up the first ship. So even though we're not able to see much, we're still, I mean, just by sheer firepower, if we land even a couple hits, we're going to sink these smaller ships. So we need to get our whole fleet turned here so we can start getting these guns to bear on these ships. I can't even see them. It's just ridiculous, this weather. I am going to slow down a little bit so we can get some better accuracy. Or accuracy, I mean, look at that. It's like 3%. But it's still going to be enough because we don't need that many hits. One well-placed 14-inch shell is going to sink one of these destroyers. Alright, we got torpedoes coming, a whole bunch of them, and they're definitely going to hit me. I'm going to get 3 hits here. I'm not too worried about that, though. We can take that. I mean, it's obviously going to cause some damage. But I'm not too worried about that. Just look at all this firepower. Now everybody's dodging the torpedoes, so they're moving all over the place. More torpedoes coming. Oh boy. Took 6 hits. Wow. Alright, we got to slow the time down here and keep on top of this better. The good news is that we've got a lot of protection. So we'll pump the water. We'll keep it from spreading. Heimdall obviously is going to have to go back in for repairs, but after this battle, but we're okay otherwise. And I just can't see these guys at all. That destroyer's toast. And at this point, I can't even see anybody else. Alright, we're going to get the Heimdall out of here. We're going to go after him with the rest. Alright, we lost track of him for a while, but I just now finally found one again. I got to constantly be changing my movement, though, because he's going to put torpedoes in the water. And if I'm not moving, I'm going to... If I stay straight for too long, it's going to put me right into the path of them. Just means that I'm constantly going to be messing with my aim. But that's okay, my 8-inch guns ought to be able to stay on top of things. Okay, I think we found what's left of his fleet. Start turning this way. We're just going to basically zigzag. Now we'll start cutting back the other way again. Just makes it really hard for my big guns to get any sort of aim going. But it'll protect me. Man. This is the perfect... Like, if I were him, this is the weather I would want for a scenario like this. Alright, we got a flash fire on one of the ships. He's going to be toast. Bye-bye. Alright, now we're going to start cutting back the other way. My poor rear guns just keep on swinging around. Oh boy, we might take a hit here. That was a dud. Beautiful. We got 4 light cruisers to deal with here. A couple of them are almost sunk already. Just need to land another hit or two. Bye-bye. That one's toast. 3 to go. Toronto just needs really one more good hit and it's done. We got the Kaiser Wilhelm II. Got the Prince Adalbert and the Jane Lu II. Let's cut back the other way. They do still have torpedoes left. There we go. That should be enough to sink that one. Oh yeah, see? We cut back the other way and we screwed up his torpedoes. Now let's cut again. That's what I should have been doing from the beginning. It was my own stupid fault for going in a straight line for as long as I did. It's a lot of firepower being wasted to sink some light cruisers. Come on. Now he's firing smoke. It's making it even harder to hit him. Cut back the other way. Just going to keep working our way toward him. There we go. I think there is still one left out there. We're just going to let him go, though. In the end, that's a great victory. We will take it 16, almost 17,000 victory points. We are now also blockading Italy. The power projection, you can see it there, 3 to 1, basically. What is this? We can improve relations with a lot of these countries, but it's going to cost us $8.6 billion. I mean, we've got $65 billion, so you know what? I'll take it. No, we're going to keep the war going as long as we possibly can. I want to take some territory, but our army's having trouble doing that right now, and it's a bit of a concern. All right, here's a good opportunity to really stick it to some Italian firepower here. A battle cruiser, a heavy cruiser, or 2 heavy cruisers, and a light cruiser. So that's about 50,000 tons worth of ships that we could sink here. A little more even fight. Let's hope the weather's decent. All right, we've spotted the lead elements of the enemy. I've got my 5 destroyers out front working on that. We're going to split them as we usually do to try to get on either side of his squadron. Alright, actually it looks like there's already some over on this side. We've already put torpedoes in the water. Probably not necessarily the best time to do that, but we'll do it anyway. Let's figure out who's who here. We still can't quite see the enemy with our battlecruiser. And we know the enemy's got a battlecruiser of his own. Actually, we have lost sight of the enemy in general here. Interesting. Alright, I think I've spotted one of his heavy cruisers. Wow, there's a lot of firepower on that thing. I don't think he spotted me yet, though, because his guns aren't moving. So we're going to start moving in toward him here. That's not who I wanted. Give me the 3. I keep bouncing around to these 3 squadrons. Is that the battlecruiser? Nah, I think that's a heavy cruiser. If it's a battlecruiser, it's old tech. I think this is probably the battlecruiser here. Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll see. Oh boy. So we got a little bit of a torpedo exchange going on here. I'm going to turn these guys back around. We've got a big spread of torpedoes going now. I'm not sure we're going to hit anything with it, but you never know. Alright, I'm going to start moving my battlecruiser and my heavy cruiser straight toward the enemy. We're getting dangerously close with our destroyers at the moment. We're already running low on torpedoes. Why is this one destroyer way out in front of the other 2? The other ones are just in a completely irrelevant place in the formation. Oh, we just landed some hits. Heavy cruiser took a couple of destroyer hits, a couple of torpedo hits. I think they sank him. Beautiful. Destroyer's got a sinking. Lovely. Alright, we're not even in place yet to be able to start landing hits with our big ships. Alright, I'm getting kind of tired of bouncing back and forth with these guys. I'm going to let the AI do its thing for a little bit, even though I always regret that, because I want to be able to focus on bringing my battlecruiser into a place where I can start shooting. Battlecruiser's also got a ton of torpedoes on it. So once we get in close enough to use them, we will. How far are we? We're 14 kilometers out at the moment. And these guys are going after my destroyers, so they're moving away from me pretty fast. Alright, so I had to detach my battlecruiser from the heavy destroyer because... or the heavy cruiser, because he was just slowing me down. The Dessau's only got 22 knots, 23 knots of speed. The Gubin's got 30 knots of speed, so we're a lot faster, and that's going to allow us to close on these ships, get our firepower into a position where we can actually do some damage. Because they're 17 kilometers out now. So the Gubin is this really weird build that I made, as you can see here, because I had all these torpedo tubes on the deck, which means that I've got all the guns kind of elevated, and it means I can't go straight at an enemy and hit him. I've got to be broadside like this to be able to actually fire. So I'm doing that while I take on this light cruiser, and then once I destroy him, I'll go ahead and start turning straight again to try and close the distance with the battle cruiser so I can find it. We did sink a heavy cruiser with our destroyers. Or one of our destroyers, so we just lost these guys now. Alright, I think he's about to sink. Oh, we just put in like a massive spread of torpedoes. That was kind of pointless. That wastes my torpedoes for taking on the bigger ships. There's the battle cruiser. Alright, yeah, I think we got him. Oh, looks like the torpedoes, we hit with 5 torpedoes. That was completely overkill. But now we're putting a bunch of torpedoes in the water against this battle cruiser. I want to be careful here. Because at this distance, he could light me up. Battle cruisers aren't exactly known for their thick armor. I think we're going to get a hit, though. He's turning away from the torpedoes. He's drifting. Look at that. He's like drifting. That's impressive. It almost feels like he's outrunning my torpedoes. Man, how much speed does this thing have? 44 knots for a battle cruiser? Good night. That thing is flying. No wonder. Jeez. Alright, we're about to get our big guns on him, though. I can't believe that thing has 44 knots of speed. I gotta be careful of torpedoes here. These guys are way too close. I do not want to be this close. I can't believe that thing's that fast. Alright, let's swing around. Hammer this heavy cruiser before he does some damage to me. Does he have torpedoes? He does. Alright, at this distance, we ought to be able to light this guy up. Oh, but he can light me up too. Oh boy, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This close. I can't seem to get my big guns to fire. What are we waiting on? I'm surprised he hasn't put torpedoes at me. This is where I need my torpedoes. I could have sank him in a hurry right here with my torpedoes. Alright, let's get away from here. I don't like this. I don't ever want to be this close to another ship. Now we're going to have to swing around. We got to get a little distance so I can fire my 14-inch guns. Alright, now my destroyers are all super close to his battle cruiser. Maybe they can get some torpedoes in the water. Let's get over here and take a look and see if they've got any available at the moment. No, they're pretty much out. Oh, boy. Here's my heavy cruiser. It's got 9-inch guns. Oh, jeez. Hit him! What are we waiting on? Is he too close? Oh, he's gonna put a torpedo in the water on me. I just know it. I can't believe he hasn't fired his torpedoes yet. He might just have underwater tubes. There's the big guns, and none of them hit. Unreal. Alright. Alright, you know what? Forget that. Swing them around. Let's hit this battle cruiser. That was close, but nothing. I'm going to slow down a little bit and get the accuracy up some. Alright, what about the Naval? What do we need to do to get him to do something here? Come on, V-62. Reload those torpedo tubes. You could nail him right now. So close. That was the time. But now they're going to reload and it's going to be too late. Oh, what a nightmare. Alright, we're going to keep on target, though. Not going to keep switching back and forth. Alright, I'm going to turn off the torpedo tubes until I'm good and ready to use them when I'm real close. We're not hitting anything. Come on. Only 4% chance to hit. What a nightmare. Alright, torpedo in the water. He's going to hit me. That's a dud. Beautiful. Alright. Won't take much of a change. Maybe we'll get a little better accuracy on this heavy cruiser. This has not been my favorite battle I've ever fought. It's just not going that well. But I'm saving those torpedoes until I get real close again. All the firepower is just landing behind him. Now we're up to almost 50% though. So the next round of shots should definitely land some hits. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, we got the explosion. Thank you. Now I feel a little better. Now where's this battle cruiser? Let's get after him. Okay, we're closing the gap. His battle cruiser's not really moving. I don't know if it's because he's taking some damage or what, but he's basically just sitting there as I move toward him, which might actually be a good thing because we could turn on the torpedoes and light him up, but our torpedoes might fire in such a way as that they think he's moving. I wish you could have manual control of where you fire the torpedoes. I'm actually going to swing back around here. It's going to mess with my guns, but this is what I want because I want to get the perfect shot with the torpedoes. He's not moving at all. I'm really worried my torpedoes are going to all fire out in front if I do this. There we go. Let's see. No, they're going to go straight at him. Beautiful. This might be enough. Oh, he's turned right toward me. Ah! So we're going to get hits, but it's all going to be in one spot. Oh no, we're going to get two more there. Oh, they were both 3 duds? Are you kidding me? 3 duds? There, we still got him. Okay. Alright, that was ugly, but the end result is still 30,000 victory points. Only 400 crew losses to his 3,000. We sank the entire fleet. Alright, we'll take it. Alright, one-on-one battleship duel with the Austro-Hungarians. Both pretty similar in terms of tonnage. So 14-inch guns, 8-inch guns. This is all about who has the better firepower. These are dual turrets rather than triples that I have on some of the ships. I don't know a thing about the specs on his ship, but it's just the two of us. It's a duel. He's definitely got at least some range because he's got some shots in the air. Let's hope that none of them land. What's our deck armor like? We got a decent amount of deck armor, so I feel like we could withstand some. He's still at 21 kilometers out. It's a real... Oh, he's not even coming toward me. He's moving away from me. Get back here, chicken. Yeah, we landed a little bit of a hit there. I'd rather not let this come down to plunging fire. where one hit could just light us up if it lands in the wrong place. Yeah, our plunging fire is not really doing anything to them at the moment. As soon as we identify them, we'll be able to have a better idea of what kind of armaments and armor we're facing. I don't even know if we're kind of closing the gap. Okay, he's coming toward me now, and we're starting to land some more hits. Let's go ahead and turn so we can get all of our guns firing. All 12 barrels. Now slow down a little bit to increase our accuracy. Beautiful. Our accuracy is now going to be at 94% as we've closed it all the way down to 7.5 kilometers. So now it's about nailing him before he nails us. 100%. We should get some big hits here with this next salvo. Let's see what happens. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. Get absolutely wrecked. That was lovely. A lot of structural damage, but not a lot of flooding damage. We took out several of his turrets, though, so he doesn't have much to fire back with now. So let's see what happens with the next salvo. If this is going to be enough. We might have to... he's turning away from me. It's going to get harder to hit him now. He has no 13-inch guns, though. Yeah, a lot of these are ricochets. Now let's make sure that we're on... I want to be on armor-piercing rounds. Because I want to try and cause flood... he's done. He's flooding. The whole bottom of the ship's flooding. We got him. Alright. As soon as we got close enough to land some accurate hits, he had no chance. Lovely. 2,000 losses to 50 for me, 11,000 victory points. So we've made an alliance with the Japanese, and they are starting to land ground forces in my offensive. So we've got 35,000 Japanese troops helping with our advance on the Italians and the Austro-Hungarians in western France and northwest Italy. We are still also trying to take on Bohemia and Moravia, but we're just not making any real improvements in the ground campaigns in Africa or in Europe. And that's really the main reason I'm keeping this war going, is I'm trying to take some of this territory. So until that happens, we're just kind of at a standstill on what we want to do. Let's look at research for a second. Cruiser design coming up. We've got... a 19,000-ton heavy cruiser will be available to us. Explosives, what do we have coming? Tube powder 2, extra low burn. Armor forging, we've got improved slope armor on the way. Hull protection, we've got torpedo 5. So nothing really game-changing. And there's a lot of refitting I'd like to do, but I've got to end the war first so I can have some time to upgrade my equipment. Alright, so I've sent a bunch of my ships to try and help out by blockading this port at La Rochelle. And it seems to be helping. We're starting to see a big advance by our forces. We do outnumber the enemy fairly well. Well, maybe not by a lot. We've got about 200,000 combined forces between the Germans and the Japanese. About 150,000 for the Italians and Austro-Hungarians. Losses are about 2-to-1 in my favor. Things are not going as well with the invasion of northwest Italy, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, I just want to deal with western France and finally have all of France. Then we can worry about Italy. So some good news and bad news. Good news is we have conquered Tripolitania, finally took something. Bad news is we're at war with the United States. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why, because I thought we were improving relations with the U.S., but we took Tripolitania right here. We're making good progress toward taking northern Algeria. We're at 85% there. Sudan, we're at 72%. 53% on Ethiopia. 87% there. So we're making progress toward most of Africa. And we're at 93% taking western France. So The good news is that if we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces from the Italians, I'll consider that a successful war and be willing to start negotiating a peace. Because we just can't carry on these wars forever. I need at some point to be able to refit my fleet, to build some new ships, to upgrade things. Right now we only have 6 battleships and 6 battle cruisers in the active fleet because we're repairing 3 battleships and building 2 more. And we're constantly in a state of having to repair. We've got 74 destroyers right now, 191 active ships, but we just need to get some upgrades going and modernize ourselves a little bit. Okay, we're going to fight this battle against the United States in the Bay of Biscay. So this is over here where we parked a big chunk of our fleet. So we've got the Hildebrand. That's one of our big boys with the 16-inch guns. We've got a couple of battle cruisers. We've got the McTorps and a few other modern, or some of our newer destroyers. A fairly even fight, I think. And we'll see how the Americans do. Okay, so here we go. We do already have damage on all 3 of our capital ships here. The Hildebrand, the Leipzig, and the Star all have a decent amount of structural damage from previous battles. This is just, again, I mean, it's the consequence of being at war with 3 different nations at the same time and having been at war for quite a bit of time. I don't think I want to do the smoke yet because it'll actually probably obscure my ships from being able to see him. So for now, we're just going to kind of sit tight where we're at. Wait till things get a little closer and we start to engage more. But we want to try and take out as many of his battleships in this fight as we can and cripple him early in this war. All right, so we've landed a few hits here and there. I'm seeing some smoke right here, which tells me that his destroyers must be already closer than we realize. So I'm going to start doing the zigzag with my capital ships. I do not need to be taking any torpedo hits. Oh, we landed a nice big hit on one of those ships. It looks like there's already some torpedoes in the water that my destroyers are trying to avoid. My other 2 ships in this formation will automatically avoid torpedoes, but the lead ship will not. I'm responsible for that. Okay, now we're going to be able to spot these scouts, these screens. Maybe try to light them up a little bit before we start dealing with the big boys. Hildebrand's going to start swinging these big quads around again. These quad 16s. Look at that damage right there. My goodness. Alright, let's be careful here because my lead destroyer, I'm responsible for avoiding torpedoes with them. Alright, Hildebrand. How we doing? Not even really engaging the big ships yet. Alright, we'll turn on the AI control of the destroyers for a little while. And the destroyers are, we've got V98, V100, and McTorps. Got the Hildebrand, the Leipzig, and the Star for our big ships. This is basically just a battle against destroyers right now. The battleships await. Okay, I think we've got that one done. Oh, the Daniel Inouye. Interesting. Named after a World War II hero who then served a long time in the U.S. Senate from Hawaii. Obviously a name that would not exist at this point in history for a ship. Alright, so we've pretty well taken care of the destroyers. There's 2 left. One's heavily damaged, but I'm going to let my destroyers worry about them. I'm going hunting for some battleships. So I'm going to start moving that direction with all three of these. And he seems so far to be running away from me. Alright, he's starting to turn back toward me now. So it looks like they're about to fire. He's got some long barrels on those things. Alright, let's go ahead and get our big guns turned around and start firing on his battleships. Especially these big 16s. And start lining up our aim. There we go. Oh my gosh, that was fast. Took out the lead battleship in the first couple of salvos. There goes the second one, the Ohio. Wow. These battleships are fragile. They are not handling the plunging fire very well from a distance. There goes the Louisiana. Oh my goodness. They can't handle plunging fire. Firing at this distance, dropping the shells down on top of their deck, and they're getting hooded. That's what's happening. Just like the HMS Hood was sunk from just the right place at the right time from a long-range shell. That's what's happening to the American battleships. The Nebraska is still out there. We need to get after that one. Oh my gosh. There goes another one. I should stop being surprised at this point, but I'm really surprised at how fragile his battleships are. Alright, let's drop some shells on the Nebraska and be done with it. He is running just as fast as he can. We're going to have a hard time hitting him at this point, but just need one or two well-placed shells. Oh, yeah! Nah, that didn't do the trick. Come on, baby. Oh, boom. We're over-penetrating right now, and we're falling out of range. I think my battle cruisers have better range than the battleship does. But he's definitely trying to get away. Oh, we just landed some hits on him. I was just separating out my battle cruisers because they're faster to try and pursue, but we landed a couple really big hits. Took out his 16-inch guns. Look at that mess on the back. Don't know that we got enough to sink him yet, but it's darn close. Now we're getting some ricochets, but we're going to pursue with the battle cruisers. They've got 32 knots of speed compared to the Hildebrand, which only has 26 knots max. We definitely should be able to overcome him. He's pretty well stopped anyway. He's dead in the water. It's just a matter of landing the hits to finish him off. Oh, this has been beautiful. It almost feels wrong to be shooting at a target like this. They probably would have abandoned ship by now, historically. But we're going to keep pummeling until they finish off. There it is. I think that should do it. Okay. Wow, that was devastating for the Americans. 115,000 victory points. 4 battleships, a heavy cruiser, and 2 destroyers sunk. 10,000 men lost. I didn't lose a single man. Wow. So British East Africa of Italy, that's a mouthful, has been conquered by the German Empire. Northern Algeria has been conquered by the German Empire. Austria-Hungary pushed back another offensive in Bohemia, Moravia. So we're starting another one now against Morocco. So let's take a look. Oh, we did also take Western France. So that's some good news right there. Wish we could do better against Bohemia and Moravia. We're going to start our big offensive against Northwest Italy now. More of Africa is ours. We're at 89% toward taking Sudan, 68% here, and just starting out here. So the conquest continues to conquer more and more of Europe. We've taken all of what was once France now, and now we're going to try to take some of the Italian countryside, but I think I'd rather just kind of wrap up that war if at all possible. But we're going to wrap it up right there. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we'll be back soon with the next episode. Thanks for watching.